a place between conservative and liberal. I have some ideas that I think are probably much more conservative than liberals are comfortable with, and I know that I have a lot of ideas that are much more liberal than conservatives are comfortable with. But you know, what's new? I've been in that middle place for so long that it kind of feels like home now. Hello pretty babies, welcome to Lionhearted. This is the inaugural video for this channel, and my name is Tamara Chastain, and I want to give you a little background on the channel and the purpose of it, and a little background on me, and then we'll just go from there. So Lionhearted is a place for open-minded and open-hearted Christians to get together and study or discuss issues that affect us today, and ways to take our faith and apply it to our lives in our modern world. I was raised Southern Baptist. I grew up in Georgia. I guess you can probably tell that I'm a Southern girl. And I was sort of steeped in the whole Bible Belt Southern culture as a child growing up. I grew up in a small town. My grandmother was my greatest influence in life, especially in my faith. She just walked it out. She didn't preach it, she didn't teach it, she didn't lecture, she just loved people, and she showed me a way to be in the world that I try to emulate every single day. It wasn't until I turned 18 and moved away that I realized that there were people different than me. And they called themselves Christian, and they were different. They were almost like scary different, because it was so new and so foreign to what I had been taught as a child. And yet I knew that there was so much truth in what those people had learned and what I was going to learn from them. I remember the first time I went to a contemporary Christian service with, and I'm a musician, so the fact that there were guitars and bass and drums and singers, and they weren't holding a hymnal in front of them, and we didn't sing the first, second, and fourth stanzas of the song, and it was just like mind blown. I mean, it was just crazy good. And so I realized that there were other things out there for me to explore and to experience that were still true to my Christian faith, but that were totally different than what I had ever experienced before. I was a worship leader for 5 years at a church in Savannah. When I was living there, I was there for 8 years. And it did not end well. They were a very fundamentalist church, and I knew that going in, but I wanted to be there. I loved the minister of music, and I loved the music department, and the music department exploded. We had a great time building this music ministry up and watching the church grow. But the Lord told me it was time to go, and I didn't listen, and so instead of being able to walk away on my terms, He did it for me, and it's taken me 10 years to get to the point where I feel like I'm ready to get back into church now. That was the beginning of my journey from where I had been brought up to where I am today. And it's been long, and it's been painful, and God has been with me every step of the way. And the Lord told me, it's time for you to start teaching other people what I have shown you. And so honestly, folks, it's taken me a long time to get this video done, because I have thought of every reason possible that I should not do this. Because what can I offer? What do I have to say? What can I teach? And oh dear God, teachers have to be held accountable. They'll be held responsible for the things that they say. And what if I say something wrong? And on and on and on. Anyway, enough. A friend of mine and I had a conversation, and she's like, look, you just got to do this. And so here I am, and I'm doing it. And for better or worse, I'm going to keep doing it. I know that there are a lot of you out there who have been wounded by the church, or by well-meaning Christians, or sometimes Christians that didn't mean well, sometimes Christians that were just ready to just blast anybody who didn't agree with the way that they saw things to be. I understand that. I know where you're coming from. I know what it's like to be Christian, and whatever you've been taught by the traditional church, that you're going to hell, basically, because you're not doing it the right way. It's time for us to take back the things that we have been told we can't have, especially people who are marginalized, like the LGBTQIA community, people who maybe are living with someone they're not married with, or having sex and they're not married, or whatever the thing is that conservative Christianity tells us is wrong. Get rid of it, people, because the time has come that we can't do that anymore. We can't let somebody else tell us what God wants for us. We can't let anybody else tell us what it is that God is trying to say to us. We got to figure it out for ourselves. And so when I say something to you, you need to learn it for yourself, because all I can tell you is my experience and what I have learned and what God has shown me and what has shown to be true in my life. And I want you to do the same thing. I hope that you'll subscribe. I hope you'll tell your friends. You can follow me on Instagram. And if you want to reach me directly, the DM on Instagram is probably the best way. I'll go ahead and put those links below. And also for Facebook, though I really don't get on Facebook very much, but everything I post to Instagram, shoots over to Facebook. Let's get this party started. Do something that's going to make you a better person. Do something that's going to give you a deeper understanding of God. And I promise you, I'll be doing the same thing, and we can support and uplift each other. It's time to be fearless, so let's get busy. See you next time.